I'm Ludwig von Auer. I work at the Universität Trier in the far west of Germany, and I have been in this field, inflation measurement, now for, well, I would say 20, 30 years. So this is why I now have to answer a few questions, I guess. Well, both have advantages and disadvantages. So scanner data are very rich, and in particular they give us not only the prices but also the quantities that have been sold, and that means we know about the relevance of the products, whether they really play a role, and this is important for inflation measurement. But we do not have scanner data for all products. For example, services, there are no scanner data on those. And then also web scrape data can help. It's easy to get them, and so they help out in this respect, but they also have a problem. And the most important problem is we do not know whether this offered price that we web scrape is relevant. We do not know whether the product has been bought. So that's the big disadvantage of the web scrape data. And I think in the future we still need both. It's a complementary relationship. So we will see both in official inflation measurement. Well, that's a rather technical question. I try to give an intuitive answer. When you compare the current month, the price level of the current month, to some very recent months, we usually use some standard price index formula. And that works well because all the products of the recent months are still available today, so we can easily compute an average price change. But if the former month is far away from the current month, then many products of that former month no longer exist, and there have come many new products. And so the comparison between this old month and the new month is not really informative, not so relevant. So then the trick is to say, okay, this very long time interval, we split into shorter intervals that overlap. And for each of these shorter intervals, then we can apply our standard price index formulas, because then we have, again, a lot of products that are the same at the beginning and at the end. And the final step then is we link or multiply all these numbers that we computed from these overlapping short periods and get then the overall price change. But there were quite a few empirical studies that showed that this multiplication in the end gives a result which is completely implausible. So what's the reason of that? It's called chain drift bias, because this multiplication is called chaining, and this implausibility is called then chain drift bias. Well, first maybe the solution. The solution is then to use a non-standard index formula, and what is usually done is to use a multilateral index, and this multilateral index does not just compare one month with the old months, but also all months that are in between, so a whole sequence. So this is much more information, and because of that we can then address this chain drift bias and we can reduce it. That's the idea behind it.